Good morning, PT on ICE Daily Show. Happy Monday. I'm Dr. Heather Salzer, and I'm here with the Pelvic Division. Before we get started today, I want to do a quick shout out to all of the ICE peeps that were running the marathon in St. George this weekend. Looked like you all crushed it. If you ever want to come run a marathon with us, they have a lot of fun. And one year, very soon, when I'm not pregnant or newly postpartum, I will absolutely be there as well. But excited to be here on the podcast this morning. We are going to be talking about barriers to exercise during pregnancy and how we may impact some of these barriers. So if you get our pelvic newsletter, last week you might have gotten a little tease of where we're going today with the podcast. Quick side note, if you're in the pelvic space and not getting our pelvic newsletter, you should hop on that. We send it out every 2 weeks, has a lot of resources, research, things that are coming out, and it's a great way to stay on top of a field that is changing very quickly. So you can head over to ptonice.com under resources. It's all free. So last week, as I mentioned in the newsletter that we sent out, there was a systematic review going over barriers to exercise or barriers to physical activity during pregnancy by Sun et al., and it came out in 2023. In that article, which I'll link in this podcast as well if you want to deep dive, they go over a whole host of barriers. Today for the podcast, we're going to focus on 3 that I think that we can have the biggest influence on. So these are lack of knowledge and skills as a barrier of motivation and goals, and the barrier of safety concerns. So starting with lack of knowledge and skills. Team, this is where we shine, right? We have the knowledge, we have the skills to help people continue exercising. Get them in, get them on your team, and help them figure it out. A lot of this is starting off by becoming that trusted resource for them, right? You want them to come in and use you, have that rapport with them so that they use you to help guide their journey. And this could look really different depending on what their exercise experience is, what their pregnancy looks like. If there's somebody that's taking a lot of group classes, maybe this is coming alongside them to help them feel like they can continue to show up for those exercise classes. So potentially they're coming in and they're needing help figuring out how to change something in their CrossFit class or their bar class. And maybe first of all, they actually don't need to change anything and they just need a little reassurance that what they're doing is great. Or if they're having some symptoms with something, we can look at that exercise, look at that part of class, and first see, can we change anything about the way they're setting that up? We always coach first, but then also feeling like we're arming them with modifications or alternatives that they can do, take into that class setting so that when they show up, they feel confident that they know, hey, when the class does this, I know that I can still do this. And that will really help in terms of feeling like they have the skills to continue going to those classes. It could look a little different if somebody maybe doesn't have as much of a history with exercise or isn't in a routine with that. So maybe they're coming to you because they've got back pain or pelvic pain, and you help them, you give them some things, you're getting that pain under control, and then maybe you can give them just a little bit more and you get them excited, like, wow, I do feel a lot better after I've been moving. And you can use your knowledge to help build them a strength plan. It could be as simple as a circuit of 2 days a week. They're doing it at home with their dumbbells, but getting them set up with an exercise plan that they can keep doing. Again, use our knowledge, use our skills, help people continue to move. Second one. This one is lack of motivation and goals. This is a little tricky, right? I mean, obviously in life in general, we can't always predict where we're going to be 5 months from now. But specifically in pregnancy, it's a little hard to figure out what does that journey look like. And for somebody's first pregnancy, they're like, I have no idea how I'm going to feel in 5 months. Society tends to tell me that I'm going to feel terrible, that I'm not going to be able to move. And there's a lot of things that get wrapped up in that. But without concrete goals of what you're working towards, sometimes the motivation to exercise can be a little bit lower. So, this is where we can really, again, come alongside people and help them identify what those goals could be, and then help that be realistic as something that they're actually able to hit. So, for example, if somebody comes in, maybe you're asking them kind of, well, what are your goals across pregnancy? And they say, I just want to be able to stay active across pregnancy. Well, get curious, ask a little bit more. What does that look like for them? What do they like to do? What do they have time in their schedule to do? And then dial it in. Maybe they are a big lover of fitness classes like bar, hit. And so you decide, okay, where do you think that's going to fit in your schedule? And we say, well, I drop my kids off at 9 at preschool. And so then there's a 9:30 class at bar that I'd really like to try to hit twice a week. And you say, great, okay, let's do that. And they're like, I also have really been enjoying this loop walk that I've been doing. That's still been feeling pretty good. And you say, great. So you've taken their goal of, okay, let's stay active across pregnancy to a concrete, let's try to hit 2 bar classes a week, 2 walks around that loop a week. And then 2 days a week, we're going to do these supplemental accessory exercises that are going to support your pregnancy type of thing. So really coming alongside them. It could also be somebody that comes in with the goal of, hey, I want to run a 10K in my 3rd trimester. Fantastic. If that's our goal, support them. Help them figure out what that looks like, set them up for success. Or maybe it's someone that comes in and they're like, last pregnancy, I was in so much pain. And my goal for this pregnancy is really just to be a lot more comfortable. Again, we can absolutely help with that, but maybe dial it in, get it a little bit more specific. What will you be doing if you have less pain? What makes you excited about that? Well, I really want to continue to play with my now 2-year-old. And if I'm in that much pain, I don't think I'm going to be able to show up for him. Okay. So what do we need to do to get you there? Set those steps in place. And it could be, okay, we're going to continue going to your strength training classes 3 days a week because you know that when you're in those classes, you've been feeling better. So again, get specific. Also, be prepared to help these people modify as needed as body changes, and really be positive and like, okay, well, we had that goal. Maybe we need to shift it a little bit. We can always be changing. So again, lack of motivation and goals, come alongside our pregnant people, help them identify some potential goals that then can help them continue to exercise across pregnancy. Lastly, we have safety concerns. And the systematic review cited this as one of the biggest barriers to exercise in pregnancy. And the review also talked about it not only being safety concerns specifically of that pregnant person that matter, but that they're heavily influenced by the safety concerns of medical providers and family and friends around them. So what can we do here? Well, the great thing is that, again, we are a wealth of knowledge that we can reassure people a lot. But again, just as I mentioned at the beginning, you have to develop that relationship with that person. So establish rapport, become their go-to for questions. When they see that Instagram post that tells them, don't train your core across pregnancy, be the person that they come to ask, is this right? Can I actually do this? So a big step is becoming their go-to person so that you can help reassure them that in absence of red flags, most of the time, exercise in most forms is very safe across pregnancy, and that you can support them and kind of quell some of those concerns. But additionally, because of that broader impact of society, of friends, family, other healthcare providers, we also need to continue to spread this message far and wide. This may look like posting about it on your Instagram page. This may look like talking about things with family and friends. At ICE, we are all about be about it. Obviously, we do not all have the opportunity all the time to be pregnant and be exercising and be that example. However, if you happen to be pregnant and you're continuing to move your body, post about it, share about it, right? And you never know when that video of you at 25 weeks deadlifting 200 pounds is going to change the perception of a future client, of a family and friend member, and that starts to spread. So, when possible, be about it. When not, really help spread the message of empowerment over fear about exercise in this space. All right, so to recap, the three areas that I think we can have the biggest change are lack of knowledge and skills, goals and motivation, and safety concern. These are the three barriers that can influence someone's ability to exercise that I think we can really come alongside them, help keep them exercising across pregnancy in whatever way that's going to look the best for them. And as a result, really have a big impact on both their physical and mental health. If you would like to dive more into this topic, please come join us at one of our pelvic courses. We've got level 2 online cohort coming up starting in October 21st. You need to have taken our level 1 to jump in that cohort. If you're looking to take the level 1, the next one is starting in January 2025 on January 20th. And then we have a couple opportunities to join in with us on the road coming up. October 26th, we'll be in Carson City, Nevada. On November 2nd, we'll be in Candler, North Carolina, and then Victor, New York on November 9th. Those are just a few of the ones coming up. Thanks for being with me here on a Monday morning. Shoot me a message if you've got any more questions or want to chat about this. I could talk about exercise and pregnancy all day, all the time. Happy Monday, y'all.